All right, y'all. See how much time we got left. All right, guys. So real quick, we're gonna do this narration on Element, and I'll put the video in the link. But this one is called "Get Off the Ship Rant MGTOW Element" by Element, and I'm gonna see if I can narrate this, guys. Let's see if we can touch upon a few points. But I told you guys that I was worried about this guy because he was taking in too much. I mean, just think a guy 23 years old talking like this. I couldn't believe it when I found out his age. I was shocked. I was stunned. I was really stunned. But if you got a 20, just think, if you got a 23-year-old talking like this, and this was like 10 years ago, let's go ahead and play it.
So, I wanted to read this thing I found online to you guys. Because I wanted to explain I guess, I don't know if it's my view on all this, but whatnot. Anyways, I wanted to read this article. Now, keep in mind, I don't typically read. I was checking my email, and those little side articles that are on the side. I usually don't pay attention to them because they're really it's just a form of advertisement. It's all usually those articles are full of crap. But I saw this in the corner of my eye, and I finally came to the realization of something. I'm going to share this with you guys, and the person, in my opinion, is just irrelevant. But the whole point of what I'm going to talk about today is the culmination of all this crap. The article says Brody Jenner apologizes for all lives matter police shooting comments. It says here Brody Jenner is apologizing for arguing police shootings have nothing to do with race and saying all lives matter. It goes on to say, I normally don't speak about this type of stuff, but this is just ridiculous. I can't even watch the news anymore without getting pissed off. It has nothing to do with race, white, black, brown, or any color. And it goes on to talk about this, the whole issues going on with, police and all that. And, this article just made me sick. I mean, it's sickening. It's disgusting. The reason why it's disgusting is because, he says he apologizes for saying that all lives matter. The very fact that our culture has stooped down to such a low level that we don't even value our own lives anymore. That's lower than any. I mean, shit. Fecal matter has more importance of its purpose than what this culture has decided to lower itself to. Because at least with shit, it goes into the ground and fertilizes the nutrients so that plants and things can grow. This is actually saying that we don't even equal shit in its value. Because it goes on to say that people are upset because, we don't go along with, or certain key people don't go along with this brainwashing, communistic ideology. To the fact that we can't even agree as a society, as human beings, we can't even agree that human lives are important. It just made me sick. And like I said, I don't pay attention to these articles because most of them are bullshit. But this it's just sickening what is happening to this country. And so that's why I wanted to talk about the collapse of Western culture, Western society, Western, there's everything regarding Western pretty much. Because it's very sad actually. It's nothing. We always talk about we hope everything just kind of goes away so that we don't have to deal with it anymore. But unless you're just
Yeah, stop right there. He said society, and then he also said culture. I don't, in my opinion, I'll give you guys an example. Las Vegas doesn't have a culture. It's a transient city. Most of the people, when I was in Las Vegas, it was hard to find attractive women. It was a good thing I found one girlfriend, but she had me as a third party, and I just played dumb that she didn't because I liked her so much, and she had that good. But no, seriously, Vegas is a it's a transient city. It was perfect for me though because I don't, I'm not a clingy person. I'm not looking for like long term relationship. Well, I wasn't looking for long term relationships at that time anyway. I was trying to find my place in the world. I was working hard, stuff like that. Um, and then the people who actually live in Las Vegas, you'll find that like the people who actually live in Vegas, they were a little strange to me because me coming from Chicago, I have a little bit of culture in me from what Chicago was, you know, in the 80s and the 90s. But when I went to Vegas, it was like these people didn't. They were like drones to me. I'm talking about the black people compared to the black people that I was used to in Chicago and stuff like that. Not even judging myself, but just judging, the way black people are as a collective whole in America. But Vegas has it has no culture, it has no identity as far as the people that live there. Because yeah, I remember. Well, Vegas has a population of 2 million, just over 2 million, and you have the Strip area, and then you have Summerlin and Henderson. And a lot of people who live in Vegas came from other places, so it hasn't adapted its own culture. Vegas is a good place to live if you are like really like a gypsy type of person. So it worked for me. Um, but now America, in my opinion, as a whole, really doesn't have a culture. It used to. I can remember when it did. Now you have all these people that they bring in here from other countries, and they don't have no culture no more. You have these little pockets of cultures from other places, but America itself does not have a culture. So that's the only thing I want to say about that. Let's move on.
an unfeeling sociopath, this does have an effect on you because it's going to affect you in one way or another. What happens in the world. But the fact that we have stooped down to such a low level of what we value anymore, no fucking wonder MGTOW is growing. No wonder these guys don't see the value.
This is what I'm saying, guys, about people are when I made the video talking about people are more lonely than they ever have been before. I told you guys that people be trying to throw themselves in my reality when I'm out and about. I'm talking about strangers, not people that I know personally or online. The whole MGTOW thing, something like that, can grow because people are so desperate to find an identity, a culture, a group to fit in. I told you people that the whole LGQBT thing. I told y'all half of them mothers probably not even gay. They're just in it just to be a part of a group because that's how desperate people are to be a part of a group. That they'll even pretend to be a certain way, and they not even that way at all. This stuff is real. So when MGTOW came out, you had a bunch of disgruntled guys who had a lot of bad things to say say about women coming and group up. And like I said, well, they say misery loves company. And weakness, I told you guys, weakness is relatable and stuff like that. So, like I said, y'all never, I could never, I didn't join that whole MGTOW thing because I was like, look, push came to shove, I couldn't sleep around these guys because if I had to be around a bunch of guys that was complaining about women all day, I had to sleep with one eye open. It was like a feasting ground to be preyed on by male sexual predators. That's what MGTOW actually became. Maybe it didn't start off that way. Maybe it started out with guys making good points about the stuff that's allowed in America for women to do in men, like stuff that women can do to men in America, maybe you can't do in Muslim countries and stuff like that. It may have started from that, but what it turned into something that was really strange and something you wouldn't want if you was a straight male. You just wouldn't want to be a part of. But just move, let's go ahead and move on, guys. But again, the whole thing. People are very desperate to have a identity, a culture. They cannot be by themselves. They got to be a part of something.
Of making such an investment to either have a family or to have kids or to even be in a relationship or to.
Not everybody who has children, who marry, actually want to do that. They're just doing that just to be a part of a group. People are so desperate and clingy. It's sick. Guys, it makes me sick to my stomach. I had a guy the other day. I told y'all about cars and stuff. People think you like them because you might drive the same cars as them. I had some little uh, goofy mother trucker that pulled up beside of me, all smiled like no, I'm not saying he was gay or anything like that. I'm saying like he was he was by himself and he was so desperate that just because I drove the same car, he thought he could pull up beside me and start it. And I must have gave this dude the dirtiest look. Like if you don't get your weird behind away from me. You know what I mean? Like it's weird, I'm telling you, people are so clingy and desperate and long. It's sickening.
Even have sex with women or to even go out in the society and participate because anybody with a bit of intelligence above the average can see that this kind of crap is destroying people's minds and it's destroying life as we know it to an irreversible damage. This is how bad things have gotten. The Western culture has actually recreated racism in this country artificially with this Black Lives Matter bullshit. And it's even gotten lower to that by what I was talking about in this article, where you actually have.
The only good thing, we might have to do a part 2 to this, guys, because it's long. It's a 20-minute video, but because I'm talking, it could be 40 minutes, and I ain't finna be on here for 40 minutes. The only thing I can say about why these subgroups are formed is because, again, people, they need to feel like they are part of something. If people don't feel like they are part of something, they can go into like a really deep depression, and it can start to affect the market, the economies of the world. And so they got to create this stuff to make people feel like they belong to something. They can't let a whole period of time go by without creating some new subcategories that people feel like they can dive into to feel like that they are contributing to society in some way. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I look around me, I see buildings, I see stuff that I didn't build. It's like I got here and it's already there. And I ain't gonna lie, that can create it can create a form of apathy in you when you feel like you don't have a hand in anything. That's why it's very important to, find out what your purpose is. Let's see if we can do a couple more minutes, guys, and then we have to do a part 2 to this.
To apologize that you as a human being, your life has no value, and neither does anybody else's. And if you don't, then you're socially ostracized. You know what? I'm gonna make this into a rant video because I just can't take it. I'm so sick and fucking tired of these people. I hate social media. It has destroyed people.
And well, the thing is, even if, let's say you just say, oh, well, I'm just not going to be a part of the BS. I'm just going to separate from these people. Do you realize the isolation that you have to put yourself in to when you really say something like that? Because it's all around you. Whatever new category they come out, whatever pool they fill up with water for people to jump into and they jump into it, it's going to affect you indirectly. Whether you want to be a part of it or not, you're affected by these people's behavior. Whatever new thing they got out here for these people that they want to jump into, even if you say, well, I'm just going to be comfortable being isolated, you're going to be affected indirectly by these people's madness that's been handpicked for them to be in. And hopefully you have a job where you don't have to deal with people so much to be affected by their madness. Let's move on.
Every facet that you could imagine. People don't have the ability to communicate anymore. People don't look at you in the face anymore. People have just lost their fucking souls. People are soulless. People are lost.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
All this fucking.
I see it. I see it. They're lost. They don't know who they are. That's why I talked about socialism and people wearing the same outfits when they go out and like you have to put them back in school again. They're confused. They don't know who they are. That's why that guy pulled up on me last night. Like, I want to talk to. He was so scared. Just a little bit of alone time must have freaked this guy out. That just because I had the same car he was driving, he thought I was going to be his best friend for that few minutes. Oh, I was supposed to say hi, guy. Like, I mean, I must have gave this dude, and I felt a little bad about it afterwards, man, because it's like, I mean, you be running into clowns like that all day. I can't get my energy to no junk. You be running to you deal with him, you'll be running to a whole nother clown. 5 minutes later, I'd be doing the same thing. People are lost. I'm telling you, because it's no culture here. Even but it's failing. And I got a good narration to do with you guys real soon. Real soon. I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just look forward. Just look forward to some narrations, guys. I got some stuff. Ooh, I've been saving it. I've been saving it. I got some stuff proving what I'm saying and what Element's saying. But just think, this guy's 23 years old and he's talking like this. So when you see somebody that hasn't been on YouTube talking like this for 3 years and he was 23, white male, oh yeah, you're a little worried about him. Like, man, I wonder how Element is really doing these days. You know. But anyway, let's see if we can do a couple. I gotta go for real, y'all.
Bullshit. This Facebook, this Instagram, this Twitter, all these artificial fucking senses of reality, and all this bullshit has completely destroyed this fucking world to a point where we don't even believe lives mattering. Good fucking God, people. I mean, how sick?
Oh,
how
man.
sick are we really? How sick are we really as a people that we actually are even remotely allowing this to happen, regardless if it's fake or not? Why is this even a fucking issue?
I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here, y'all, because he's getting really emotional. I think this is a good narration to start out with. You have knowledge, you have wisdom, and then you have to have understanding. And the understanding part is what I just told you guys. You have to give people these you get every now and then you got to come out with something else for them to jump into. Otherwise, they start to deteriorate if they don't feel like they're part of a group. And then the energy dies out with that group, and they got to create another group for you to jump into. People don't know what they are. They totally lost. But you got to keep this stuff going. To keep these whatever they are, to keep them going. We're going to talk about this later, all right? We're gonna make a part two to this. I promise.
Like I said,
Yeah, we're gonna make a part two to this.